Everyone, Chris here. Wanted to take a moment to talk about storms and heavy rain, flash flooding risk as we roll late Thursday and into Friday. Thanks so much for joining me here on this Wednesday evening. We are going to have a little bit of a storm chat. Give me 1 second here. How's everyone doing tonight? You can chime in by joining me on my Facebook live stream. Chris Kubal, meteorologist. If you're watching after the fact, just join in on the fun here that we have going on here for tonight. I'm going to chat a little bit about what is going on right now, and also we'll take a look at Thursday's setup and Friday. There are a few things I'm concerned with as we take a look at that forecast. Let's go over to the radar picture. All is well in central Iowa here for tonight. We look off into Nebraska and South Dakota, though. You see a pretty potent line of storms stretching from I-94 in North Dakota almost all the way down to I-80 in Nebraska. So we do have a lot of activity out here. These are severe thunderstorm warned storms. A lot of them for wind. There are a couple of pulses of some hail in here as well. A little bit too far for the radar sites that I actually have loaded in for my area, but it is definitely out there. This cluster, as I loop it, you'll see is going to be making a line towards central Iowa, southern Minnesota as well. So expect this activity. It's still several hours out, but this is going to be early on Thursday morning. I'd say getting into the western areas of Iowa and Minnesota closer to 1 o'clock or so. Put it into the Des Moines metro area maybe by 4. So we got a little ways to go here before this activity does get in. By the time it does get in, I'm actually not expecting much in the way of severe characteristics with this, but it will be some rainfall lining up with the morning commute. There may be some gusty winds to 30, 40 miles per hour, the strongest activity that's left, but this should go through a weakening trend as we continue on here. The severe outlook here for the rest of tonight, you do see that trend is going to be for it to weaken as it moves into both of the respective states. Want to talk a little bit about our weather impact alert day as we look ahead. This is going to be heavily forecast based, my current thoughts on things and the reason why I have weather impact alert day in place. This is going to be for Thursday afternoon, evening, and continuing on through the entire day on Friday. We have 2 windows for severe thunderstorms in there. Thursday, spotty activity in the afternoon, and then a little bit more into the overnight. But I'm starting to become more concerned into Friday afternoon when it comes to severe thunderstorms. Along the way, we're going to have heavy rainfall potential, and particularly getting into Friday, I think we have a little bit more of an ideal setup to see our thunderstorms move slowly and also tend to back build just a little bit. And that's not good when it comes to flash flooding concerns. So several rounds of rain and storms are on the way. We are going to be seeing some severe threats, again, I think on Thursday into the overnight and then Friday afternoon. But Friday afternoon is going to be conditional on certain things, and we'll take a look at that coming up. The flash flooding risk, I believe, as I just mentioned, increases with time, so more so on Friday as we go through this 36-hour window due to those slow-moving thunderstorms. So here's the severe threats as it sits right now for Thursday, level 1 and 2 risk across western Iowa. There's going to be a warm front moving through and trying to lift northwards through here. It's ultimately going to stall out for Friday, and I think there's going to be a window of opportunity for storms. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a level 3 get in here somewhere between Iowa, Missouri, and down into Kansas. So why don't I go ahead and go through what I'm seeing in the data with you. So I'm going to go over to the computer. And again, feel free to throw out a chat. Ask me questions. I would love to answer this. But I do want to go through things for you and why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. So I'm going to be heavily focused here on the HRRR computer model. in particular, and how things unfold. Now, keep in mind, there is a domino effect as we continue on with several waves of rain and storms. The first one has an impact on how the second one evolves, and the second one on the third, and so on and so forth, on down the line. And think of it kind of like a Plinko board. You start here with your chip at the top, and it's going to bounce certain ways based on how the previous round plays out. So what that basically means is that your confidence level in the forecast does start to wane just a little bit as we get further and further out. So I have high confidence in here for tonight that we do see this round of showers and storms move into Iowa and Minnesota as we go into early Thursday morning. But what happens after that becomes a little bit more murky because of that domino effect. So what we're looking at here is the mid-levels in our atmosphere, and those pinpointed brighter, hotter colors. Think of these as little waves of energy, and out ahead of them, they tend to stir up the atmosphere and promote development and upward motion. So you see that running out ahead of it. This time frame right now, that would be 4 o'clock in the morning. So running out ahead of that is probably going to be building up some showers and thunderstorms. That moves in. We get a little bit of a break before that next wave coming out of Nebraska continues to push in. By then, we're looking at Thursday night. About 2 o'clock in the morning is the time frame right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. So we're expecting showers and thunderstorms to move in. And notice how this wave kind of digs and actually slows up a little bit. You can actually start to see the spin in there. The area of low pressure is developing. It's strengthening through here. So we're especially going to be watching Friday, no doubt here. I also want to show you the wind. Let me bring up the wind here, specifically the low-level wind I want to show you. We're going to show you the low-level jet. I'm going to back it up here. Into tonight, we have kind of two distinct areas to watch. We have a larger one back into Nebraska, Kansas. Excuse me, this is already into Thursday afternoon. Nebraska, Kansas down in the panhandles, and also a little spoke over eastern Iowa. This is going to be that lull in the action after that morning round, kind of a little influenced by the low-level jet here through the morning time frame. That's helping to drive those showers and thunderstorms. That adds moisture into the complex as a whole. A little bit of a lull right here into Thursday through the afternoon, but overnight, watch this strong low-level jet. This is now hanging into Thursday morning. So right at the tip of this low-level jet is where we're really feeding in the moisture. Strong wind back here in the brighter, hotter colors running into slower wind. So if you think of it, you're driving down the road, you're following a slower car, and you're going faster, you're going to hit it, right? Well, quite literally in the atmosphere, it's going to hit it. And what's going to happen is we're so close to the ground, not much of it's going to go down. It's actually going to go up and promote upward motion. And this layer is going to be moisture laden as well. Why don't I just go ahead and switch over to the moisture component that I'm talking about here. So it is going to be moisture laden and pumping in here, and it's going to help promote more thunderstorm development. Okay, let me show the P watts. This number is basically the amount of moisture directly above your head throughout the entire atmosphere. And when you start talking about numbers getting up 1.5 inches, specifically 2 inches, which would be kind of those reddish salmony color moving in here. Once you start getting up around 2 inches, as you see here, getting later into Friday, that is really efficient rainfall makers when you have storms around. I think by this time we will. Okay, I'll run you through the future radar. We'll go back in time. Here comes that incoming cluster of storms for tonight. So this time frame right here, 8Z, that is going to be 3 a.m. in western Iowa, southwestern Minnesota. Continuing on, this is 5 a.m., so this would be hitting about the I-35 corridor and pushing further to the east. Let me zoom in just a touch. Same time frame. This is 7. And notice how we kind of get the lull in the action. The atmosphere's worked over a little bit. And I think that really limits what happens into Thursday afternoon. There is a little bit of activity trying to form there up near the Minnesota and Iowa border and push to the south. But we'll have to see if we get a chance to recharge here. I think for the most part, we're waiting for this cluster to come in on that next shortwave from Nebraska. So a late night event once again for tomorrow. And really, I think the severe characteristics surrounding this just aren't going to be ideal when it comes down to it. And I'll go over that in a second. But first, we'll continue on. You see that heavy rain continuing to push in for Friday morning. And notice how it just keeps on redeveloping back to the west. So you get one wave through, a new wave develops and pushes through. And this is where I'm really starting to get concerned, this activity that's blossoming for Friday afternoon. This particular run of the HRRR is rather robust in southern Iowa in terms of supercell development. It would also mean tornadic development, big-time thunderstorms, and also a lot of heavy rain and potentially training rain too. So that's something to watch. Briefly, let's go over the precip, and there will be more past this as well. So this is only 7 on Friday evening, but the cold front is still well back here to the west. There will be additional development. We're just at the end of the scope of this particular run. So this is total rainfall. And you see you start getting into these oranges and reds. That's 2+. I think we're running a widespread risk here of storms that are going to be running 2 to 4 inches. And then we're going to have to pinpoint those bullseye areas that could go north of 4 inches. So that's what we're going to be watching and happening successively over and over again. That really stresses our waterways, river basins, and in short amounts of times we can see flash flooding not only on roads and ditches and things like that, but then you start looking at the rivers and streams really shooting upwards as well. And it's been rather soggy in central, northern, western Iowa as of late, and we need a couple more days to dry out. We've seen a lot of high bounces in a lot of our creeks and rivers as of late due to recent rains, and so adding this in a short amount of time makes those more susceptible as well. Okay, I want to run through the severe characteristics here that I'm going to be looking at. And the first one I'm going to show you is updraft helicity, and take you back here to tonight. This is thunderstorm updraft and how much essentially it's spinning. So spinning updrafts, and that is really the key driving factor behind a severe thunderstorm. If you have a rotating updraft, that means that the storm has a potential to hang around a long time and grow strong. It has good dynamics, essentially. Notice how these numbers are a little bit more robust in Nebraska, South Dakota here for tonight, and then it overall weakens as we get into Iowa and Minnesota. So those fade away. I'm not too concerned with this activity here for tonight. I do think it gets near the I-35 corridor. We could have some 30, 35, maybe 40 mile per hour winds pinpointed along that line of storm. So not even widespread. So I'm not too concerned on the severe aspect of that. Let's go into Thursday afternoon. I did mention that we had a cluster of storms up near the Minnesota-Iowa border. Those, should they get going, and we'll have to overcome that first round and recharge the atmosphere. So this is saying it can get done up there into southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, and then some of those stronger updrafts in there. They're short-lived, though, and they don't persist. Going later into the overnight, that activity in Nebraska, notice there's some stronger pulses there, but the timing is just not in our favor. This is now early Friday morning. It's just not in our favor for that activity to traverse that long of a distance and get in here in time and cause significant issues. So actually on Thursday, I think the afternoon would be the best opportunity to see a severe thunderstorm develop, but we have to recharge that atmosphere. And right now, some of the latest data is trying to do it mainly over northern Iowa. The earlier run tried to do it over northern Iowa as well. And so I think that's the place to watch for that. When it comes to the key things to watch with that mode, it is not looking like so much of a tornado potential. I'd say isolated. I think this is mostly going to be a wind type related thing with some hail as well. So we'll watch that. There's plenty of energy to work with, though. It looks like trying to recharge over northern Iowa. See those brighter colors. Let's go back to that updraft helicity and get you into Friday morning where we were. Okay, so carrying on, watch what happens here as we go into the afternoon. You see those rigorous returns showing up there. This is where I'm concerned. We get this area to recharge just a little bit. I'll show you the temperatures first. We will have a frontal boundary that kind of stalls out near I-80, and that will mean the best area of potential warming is going to be southern Iowa. So down near the Missouri border, we warm into the upper 80s. And so that area gets a chance to recharge. And let's continue on. I want to show you the Cape. This is the available energy. So notice further north, it's not that great. But those big numbers are down near the Iowa and Missouri border. So really looking more robust down there. Potential. And so again, Friday, it looks robust if we can overcome what happens before. But by then, we're talking already numerous waves of rain, at least 3 that I'm thinking just off the top of my head, 3 really concise periods. And so that fourth one, is this going to be the specific setup? So that's what we're going to be watching. And that confidence level after each successive round goes lower. But this piqued my interest, and I really wanted to talk to you about it. So if this would come to fruition exactly what's seen, this would be a very active Friday afternoon for me. This is the significant tornado parameter, basically looking at the deep layer shear that's available and some other products into this arbitrary formula that spits out the best dynamics for tornado genesis. And notice here over southwestern Iowa, this is 4 p.m., the number's starting to climb the ladder, actually reaching up towards 4 or 5, I believe, through 7 o'clock before we start to lose that tornado risk, I believe, as we continue on. Just if I could keep this going, we'd lose that risk. So there's going to be a narrow window in this specific scenario where tornadoes would be possible in southern Iowa. This is atmospheric sounding for Creston. I'm going to take you to Thursday afternoon. And this may be a lot of gibberish for you. But looking into the afternoon, this is going to be at 5 p.m., we have the energy, okay? It's not heaps and bounds here, but I think it's better towards the border. 2,000 Cape, that'll get it done. The shear, 0 to 1, which is a big parameter I look at when it comes to tornado development. Ideally, I'd like to see it 15 to 20. It is not the best in here, so this is 5 o'clock. But that deep layer shear, it is a little bit better at other points. So looking back here earlier in the morning, that deep shear is pushing up towards 35 or 40. I'd like to be seeing it a little bit better than that. But the parameters down here, as you watch down in this area, they're starting to jump up. The SIG-TOR parameter, it tries to get, oh, I'm in the wrong spot, excuse me. SIG-TOR parameter starts to climb as we go through the afternoon. In fact, I even think it's better further to the south. So let me check out Lamoni real quick. Okay, let's get you. Oh my goodness, I was on the wrong day. Let me go back to Creston. I want to show you the right day. I was like, these numbers don't look like what I was looking at earlier. So here we go. This is going to be 4 o'clock on Friday. We have the winds turning direction from almost due east to the south and west. That is a huge swing, leads to big curving hodographs is what you're looking at when you're looking for tornado potential. That shear is north of 20 in the lowest kilometer of the atmosphere, which is good. I'm looking for 20 or above. And the deep shear from 0 to 6, I'm looking for 40 or above. And we're hitting that. In fact, we're 40 and above at 0 to 3, which is really impressive there. So a big curve to the hodograph. We have a lot of energy that's pumped in here, 2,500. That's SIG-TOR parameter is 2.5. Supercell composite, that's kind of, again, that arbitrary number that the formula that's based on a lot of parameters that give us the best environment for a supercell to form. That's up near 6. And the higher you climb, and I like to think of it, it's not limited to 10, but kind of think of it as a 0 to 10 scale. So the higher you climb the ladder, the more it is going to be possible in there. P watts right here. If you can see, can you see that? You can't. I cover you up. Give me 1 second. I know it's kind of small, but those P watts are closer to 2. If this unfolds exactly the way it is, that's going to be a very active night for us in southern Iowa. On top of that, then we're looking at flash flooding risk. Let me jump you back over to Max and we'll run. Again, if you have any comments, jump in. I know we've had several people come and go, but it's been pretty quiet on the comment department so far. Please let me know. I'll answer any questions. Any questions you want. All right. We'll go through our in-house computer model here. Hopefully we have some new data. I'm not quite sure. I'm just going to drag it forward. So you see the rain and storms getting in here. It suggests maybe an hour earlier or so working in. But similar looking setup. Pulls in showers and storms right through central Iowa through the morning drive. Heads up for that. And then a bit of a break in the action. So not much happening. We do start to clear out in western Iowa a little bit through the afternoon. This particular run, once again, is struggling to really develop into the afternoon. It looks like early afternoon until the evening. And it tries to bring in a little complex earlier. So this differs from the last run or last model I just showed you. This tries to bump in some activity through the evening. So I'd definitely be watching this if this scenario comes through. Unfortunately, I can't look at the other specifics like the upper atmosphere as easily with this particular computer model. But I'd be looking at a wind threat with this one especially. Then more builds in through the overnight. Yep, we were expecting that. Notice how it just keeps developing on the western edge. This is the issue that I really have with this. So there's going to be that warm front right here. And all along it, we have that low-level jet running into that warm front and lifting. Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to move. And the way the wind is oriented with the storm motion and the low-level jet, the back building that happens makes it so it appears that the storms really aren't moving. Now, the individual cells are. They'll form and move off, but a new cell will form behind it, and it's just a continual conga line, and we call that training thunderstorms. And so that's what we're looking here. That's the issue. So we're getting into that a little bit from this version of Futurecast into early Friday morning, especially southern Iowa. Bit of a break as we expected. But can we recharge? There's going to be so many boundaries left over. Where's that warm front going to be? And this one tries to get rip-roaring over southern Iowa as well. Temperatures a little bit more robust there. So watch things in southern Iowa. And so that's 2 high-resolution computer models that are saying southern Iowa is going to be the place to be on your Friday. And then continuing on into Friday night, it actually gets pretty quiet. The last run of this one was pretty amped on further redevelopment. So still a lot to decipher with that domino effect on down the line. Hey, we got some questions. Real quickly, I'll show you the precip that this particular run is running. I haven't seen this yet. It's going to load in the data because it's the first time I've seen it. So it's going to take a minute. But look at some of those numbers. They're robust, friends. Come on, contouring. Let's go. Maybe it's not in yet. There it comes. It's going to continue to build in, but that 2 to 4 inches, I think, is going to happen in a lot of communities. And hopefully, the more this spreads out, if we can get those storms to kind of flutter north and south a little bit, we get the storms to spread out just a little bit, that will help as far as a flash flooding prospect, but this is a lot of rain to take in, and it could lead to river flooding. Come on, load in data. I want to see it all. That contouring is just not loading in. Okay, Cindy Larson asks, is this going to be the last of the excessive rainfall? I'm over it. I wish I could say yes. We'll have another round of rain Tuesday night, I believe, but dry days surrounding that. And actually, for once, a cool down. We haven't had a cool down in 5.5 weeks. I'm talking temperatures. I'll just show you that here real quick. Temperatures by the end of next week into the upper 70s. That hasn't happened since June 9th, I think. So our coldest temperatures we've seen in some time. Look at the overnight lows too, upper 50s, low 60s. That's windows open material all the time. You're very welcome, Mary. Thanks for dropping by. Will Des Moines get some of that tornado potential, and Friday will be further south? Julian, signal to me is pointing to southern Iowa. And if you were with me earlier in the broadcast, I really think, excuse me, I just clicked on the wrong scene here. It's a level 2 right now. I think based on this, going into tomorrow, we'll see potentially a level 3 develop somewhere in here, and that yellow kind of expand outwards just a little bit. Just based on what I'm seeing out of the 2 computer models I've looked at this point. He says Southern Iowa doesn't want any of it, and I completely agree with you on that. So did our colors load in here finally? Our system is cloud-based, and so yeah, it did. So it just takes some time. That's a lot of rain, folks. So a lot of 1, 2, 3, and then once you get into that purple, that's actually 5. Or the blues, I should say, and then the purple would be 6. So looking in this instance back under that inches mark from Council Bluffs. Now these numbers, I do not want you to take for absolute truth out of this, because again, that domino effect, so much is reliant on what happens beforehand. These numbers are going to waver a little bit, but what I want to really drive home with you is that these numbers are consistently showing up. And so that means likely someone here is going to get it. As of late, central and southern Iowa really looks like it, but there's some big time numbers up here into northern Iowa as well. Highway 20 up through Spencer. I don't have any numbers plotted, but if I have my southern Minnesota viewers, it's not quite as robust with the numbers in this latest data. So weather impact alert day is what we're going with, especially Thursday going into Friday. And I'll have to watch that strong to severe storm risk, I think, on Friday, particularly southern Iowa, it appears, on that latest run. So if there's no more questions, I'm just going to let things go here, but I wanted to give an update what I'm looking at here. Thanks for joining me. Please share this video with anyone who wants the weather information in central Iowa, especially. We are continually tracking things here. This is very serious when we're looking at setups like this. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm constantly looking to put together the best forecast for you. Whew, I'm sweating a lot. You can probably tell by my forehead. It is a warm one in here. It is currently 83 degrees as we deal with some air conditioner issues, unfortunately. So it makes it pretty darn hot when you're trying to cover all this stuff. Anyways, thanks so much. Don't forget to download We're Iowa Plus so you can get all those in-depth updates, which is where these end up ultimately. Also, follow me on social media. Follow Local 5 on social media as well. We'll keep you updated as we continue on. Stay safe, everyone, as we go into this. We still got a good 12 hours to get a good handle on what I think is the worst part of this incoming system. And we'll keep you updated, Chase Bullman and I, as we go closer to Thursday night and Friday. Stay safe, everyone. Take care.